All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Comix Asylum Live. I'm here with my partner in crime, Vaughn Joseph. I'm Steve Bino. How is everybody, and how are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. In this nice, sunny, cold day in Canada.
Yeah, you can get like all four seasons in one day, but it's been like blisteringly cold, and it's not necessarily that it's like cold, but been windy, and I think
It's
that's
chilly.
kind of been the
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah. You can't have, like, you think, oh, I can use no gloves. Nah, you need gloves.
Ah, yeah, it's coming for you at all times, for
Yeah,
sure, for
dude.
sure.
Definitely false positive on that shit.
Yeah, yeah, and
Right?
I don't want to put, as the West Indians would say, I don't want to put my mouth on anything,
Mm.
but we should be done for snow.
I think you just
Fingers,
jinxed it.
toes, everything crossed.
You just jinxed it. Actually, I
It's
checked the weather today,
uh
and out here is just going to be raining more so than anything for the
right.
next couple of days on and off.
Yeah, it's supposed to be
So,
warm tomorrow. It's like breaking 15 degrees
yeah, we'll see.
Celsius for anyone who's watching outside of Canada. Doesn't use
Mhm.
metric. Yeah, so we got an interesting week of news. Got some stuff for Daredevil that was interesting.
Yes, yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, there's a new Batman, absolute Batman cover reveal, and
Okay.
it finally delves into some of the Batman lore that we haven't
Uh,
seen yet.
oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah, so it'd be kind of interesting. I've got the cover up. I've got some stuff from Bad Idea and Louis LaRocque. I don't know if anyone knows that artist, but they should if they've been reading any Exo Man of War and any Bad Idea stuff. His stuff is
Okay.
absolutely killer, and so we're
Mhm.
going to take a look at some of that. But we've got some crazy news, and to kick things off, it's Daredevil season 2. Have you watched any of it yet?
I have not. I've been kind of caught between doing some other stuff, but no, I haven't gotten caught up. I did see some stuff on it that looked interesting to me that actually makes me kind of watch it. But
Mhm.
then I got to watch season one as well too. Like I generally enjoyed the Jessica Jones stuff when she had the Netflix show.
Yeah.
I generally enjoyed that character when they were doing. I think it was the New Avengers run
Hmm.
that they were doing, and it was mainly her. I think it was Spider Woman, um,
I think so.
Luke Cage, and they're all kind of in a team together. And they had, I think it was it Ronan? Not Ronan. Was it Hawkeye playing Ronan or whatever?
He might have been.
Um,
Might have been.
yeah. So I think he was on the team as well too. So it was that one that actually kind of cemented that I actually liked the character, and it was mainly their interplay with Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, and then they actually trying to adultify some of the stuff where
Hmm.
they finally like had like Marvel characters actually having kids and all that kind of stuff. So that was kind of interesting.
Get them all growed up, as they say.
Yeah, yeah, and they kind of hint at that in this promo for the Daredevil stuff. So that kind of intrigued me a little bit to see what kind of continuity they're going to run with it in the show.
Yeah, well, it's not a huge spoiler surprise in that Jessica Jones is returning for this season. I'm not sure when her episode drops.
Yeah, they've been hinting at it for a while, for the most part. Where am I
Yeah,
looking
but
at my things?
and I'm with you. Like I like Kristen Ritter. I've loved
Yeah,
her
yeah,
since Breaking Bad,
yeah, yeah.
and I think it's the B in Apartment B or something like that. One of those
Mhm.
shows. So she's been good in a lot of other stuff, and I do like Jessica Jones. I wasn't a big fan of season 2. I don't think. Um, but
Yeah, I'm the same. I liked it up until I think the midway part, and
of
then they
season
did that.
2, yeah.
Yeah, they did that flashback thing, and then it kind of went all downhill from there.
Those Netflix shows seem to every time they have a flashback show, it kind of dips. Except I did really enjoy the one with Karen Page. I can't remember which Daredevil season it was, but it
Okay.
was when they went back into her past, and that was
Mhm.
really interesting. But I
Yeah.
find that either the seasons are either too short or too long, but usually they kind of kill the momentum with some of the flashback stuff.
Yeah, they have like a mid-season break where I don't even know if the actors need a break or whatever, and then they just focus on one character. And generally, that character focus always has like a flashback or a
Hmm.
retrospective on that character in some ways, and that's when you start losing it because it's like you had the first arc of whatever the story was, and then you had like that little mid-break, and then you pick up on the back end,
Hmm.
and that's when you generally start losing me a little bit, depending on how you work it, right?
Yeah, and it's interesting because like Tennant is was amazing as Purple Man, but I didn't really care for his backstory. I was more interested in his dynamic with Jesseca, right?
Yeah, same here. I totally agree with that one.
Yeah. Well, because Daredevil season 2 and Born Again isn't the spoilery mode, they spoiled season 3. Apparently, Luke Cage and Iron Fist are coming back.
Yeah, I saw some like leaked photos of like they're trying to hide. Iron Fist, they didn't seem to care, but they were trying to hide like Luke Cage. And there's a black guy wearing a hoodie coming out of a building, and they hide his face, but his giant hands are out exposed. And you're like, come on, guys, give me a break here. Let's try a little harder.
For sure. So this is courtesy of Forbes. Luke Cage and Iron Fist are back for Daredevil Born Again season 3. So this is by Paul Tassi, senior contributor. And it's interesting too because like I know that
yeah, that's what I'm talking. That's the photo I'm talking about.
Oh, it's an amazing photo. It's an amazing photo.
That's hilarious.
It's like the old whatchamacallit. It's like the old paparazzi.
Yeah, paparazzi kind of play, yeah.
Yeah, let me get this, see if I can get this one a little bit bigger. But what are your thoughts on Iron Fist coming back? Because I know his character took some heat.
I'm indifferent. Truth be told, I never watched the Iron Fist series. I've only caught bits and pieces of it in like when he was really getting roasted on YouTube a little bit, when everybody was reviewing it and kind of showing clips of how bad some of the fight scenes were and all that kind of stuff. Other than that, I never actually watched it. And as an actual like Iron Fist character, like the actor, I'm indifferent. Truth be told, it's one of those Marvel characters that I never really understood fully as to one, why he gets so much kind of flack for what he is and as a character. And then some of the other people that love him also like on the opposite side, like I haven't seen him do anything that really feel like warrants the popularity level that some of these other guys give it. But I get it. Everybody has their character that they ride or die for. So I get it.
It's kung fu. It's kung fu.
Kung fu.
It's kung fu, man. So
I know kung fu.
Yeah, according to this, because Daredevil Born Again is filming so quickly, we're now in a situation for the second year in a row where the show has to spoil itself before or as the current season airs. Previously, we knew Jesseca Jones would return to the series well before what happened. It still hasn't happened yet in season 2. And this was as of, when did this article come out? April 4th. So that was about 4 days ago. So we'll see this week. She'll probably show.
It should be this week.
Yeah. Now it's Luke Cage and Danny Iron Fist Rand, the Defenders, reuniting for the first time since 2017. Okay, first of all, how the hell is that 9 years ago? Like, what the hell?
I know. Time flies, man.
It's crazy. So at first it seemed to be leaking because a guy was taking photos with the cast and his daughter, but quickly that was confirmed with literal Getty image shots. That Getty Images is like the TMZ of photography.
Okay? Yeah, they're the worst.
Getty's got it. It's real. Like anytime you hear something, I'm like, did TMZ leak it? If TMZ's talking about it, then it happened.
Yeah, Getty has it. It's real.
Yeah. So on the cast on set, which is about as official as you get without an announcement from Disney itself. And there's a picture of Mike Walker, who plays Luke Cage in full monk robes.
Yeah, he has like a business suit underneath there or something like that.
Well, remember he was like the crime boss at the end of the Luke Cage series, right? Like he took.
So I didn't finish it. So,
yo, man, I'm gonna have to give you a refresher course. You do some homework, read up on watch those shows. But then there's also a storyline in the books where he becomes the mayor of New York.
Yeah, mayor in New York. Yeah, after Fist, I think as well.
Right.
Too. So that,
But the weird thing is in Spider-Man, the latest Spider-Man one, Brand New Day, there's a new mayor. So I don't know what that means for Fisk, and it all depends on how the timeline works, right?
Yeah,
Fisk is the current mayor in Daredevil Born Again.
Yeah, because they did do the run where Fisk was the mayor for a while in Marvel. Was that right after not Dark Avengers, or which was the one where like all the evils came back or whatever, and it had something to do with Thor or something like that? I forgot what that one's called. I think it was not after the Dark Event, but it was one of those big crossovers where I don't know if it was after Osborn, and Osborn was like the leader of Shield or something like that.
Oh, you mean when he took over Thunderbolts and stuff like that?
Yeah, Thunderbolts and all that stuff. So I think it was after that.
It's possible. It's possible. It says here that Mike Coulter and Finn Jones have been coy about potentially returning to the show, and I actually saw a recent interview with Coulter where he's like, "Man, I don't know if I'm going to go back to." I don't know if I'm going to go back to that, but everybody's, no one is going to be Tom Holland or Mark Ruffalo of the past, where it was like, let me just spoil everything.
Yeah, deny.
Yeah, everyone's had the media training up the wazoo now.
It's funny too because as actors, they're the worst liars.
Yeah,
the worst liars. Right.
Yeah, for sure. Let me see here. What's up?
But also, it could also be the fact that this type of news is so pervasive in the out there. It's hard to not catch that stuff. It's different years and years ago when an actor said they weren't in something. You wouldn't see people on set, and there wouldn't be a photographer around every single corner, right? The cell phone has spoiled a lot of things now these days, and the spoilerism of fandom, right?
I'm gonna go a little bit earlier. I'm gonna go a little bit further than that, but let me just say hi to Fed again.
Yeah.
I missed 10 minutes. I put notification on yesterday. I wonder what will the power level of enemies if both return. Now, here's the thing. Thanks for putting on the notification. That was great. We just went a little bit earlier today because Vaughn has to dig out for an appointment.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't run as long as we did the previous week.
Yeah.
But yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens. And it's for Born Again season 3. Mm-hmm. And Danny Rand still has the power. Even Colleen got Iron Fist power at the end of the Iron Fist show. It was great. Yes. Sure, they can't be AVTF anymore. We'll see. But going back to the article, it says Jones famously asked people to give him an effing chance because he was getting a lot of heat.
He's getting roasted heavy.
But I'm going to say that he was way better as a character at the end of the previous or the last Iron Fist season. They wrote him. Honestly, they wrote him terribly.
Yeah,
Finn did not get a fair chance. And also too, I was watching around the same time Into the Badlands, and the fight choreography in that show,
it was crazy,
was next level. And basically, the weakest person on Into the Badlands would have bent anyone in Kunlun and Iron Fist.
Yeah.
After no problem, one hand tied behind their back, and so they needed to fix that aspect to it to make it, because you can't. It's like having someone who's superpowered and then they don't use their superpowers.
Yeah.
So you have a guy who is martial arts based and his martial arts choreography is terrible. That's part of the
terrible. There's all these long shots and far shots as well too. No up
or in the dark, worse than Batman 89, where everything's shot in the dark, and so you couldn't see anything.
It was born in the darkness.
Yeah, absolutely. So he said, give him an effing chance as Danny Rand if he returned, where he has been criticized relentlessly since this show released. Though I would argue unfairly, I guess the writer agrees with us due to the fact that it had little to do with him and more to do with the show being run and written. Season 1 was from Scott Buck, also known as the guy who made the worst seasons of Dexter. Ooh, mad shade from this writer. There's no word on whether Jessica Henwick, now also wielding an Iron Fist power as Colleen Wing, is in the Iron Fist season finale for season 2, will also appear. So that would be interesting too.
Yeah, that might be a little bit of a reveal at the end of an episode, one of the episodes later down the line.
Yeah. And so this one was from before, indeed, about Into the Badlands. It deserved at least one more season and afterwards. Yes. And the actress who played the widow, I love that character. And again, no, it wasn't your mistake at all. The time is perfect for me. Yeah, I know, because I think you're in Europe, and so you're a little bit further ahead of us time-wise. It was good to see a kid from Into the Badlands in the latest karate movie. Yeah, that's right. He played the baddie in it.
Is he played the baddie in it? Okay.
Yeah, the cast has done quite well from Into the Badlands.
Yeah. I fell off on that, but I really wanted to kind of try to finish it, but I fell off. I forgot what happened.
Yeah.
'Cause,
I think there was a shift once I think his name is Martin Kazakis.
mhm,
He's also been, for my apologies if I mispronounced the name, his
mhm.
name, but he was also in Xena, a great actor when it comes to playing villains and stuff. He really kind of chews the scenery.
Yeah.
And once they killed his character,
Yeah. Was that the end of season 1 or season
I
2?
think it was two. So they got two
Okay.
seasons out of that villain.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good show. It just, it was expensive, and
Yeah.
I think it was an AMC show, so it could only go.
It was AMC. Yeah. It was around when AMC was like firing all cylinders. They had Walking Dead was only in like season 2 or 3.
Mhm.
They had a couple other shows that were really kind of kicking it down the
Right.
door. Right.
So so this is interesting too, because I didn't even think about this
yeah.
with and I think there's other shots, two of them here. Um with here's a shot with
Yeah.
guess Mike Coulter's body double. Will any of these characters show up even for a minute? I'm for sure Daredevil will, but even for a minute in Brand New Day.
In Brand New Day, I
Because
think Daredevil.
Punisher's in it,
No
Daredevil's
Punishers
in it.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of space for that one scene where Spidey's fighting the Hand to stick two more characters at least.
Well, Jean Grey or whoever Sadie Sink is playing, I still don't feel like that's
It's not Jean Grey.
what everybody's saying. But I know, but
It's gonna be Rachel Summers. It's not.
yeah, I don't think it is. But either way, but yeah, they have enough space for two more people in that one wide shot where you're just like, come on, guys, what are you trying to do here? That composition is so off. like, of course, they're fitting other characters in there.
Yeah,
right?
and everyone learned from
The original the Spider-Man. Yeah.
where Green Goblin and Electro.
Yeah, like why even include that shot? Like, I know it's a pretty banging shot, but why
Well,
include it?
I'm gonna throw this out there. It's to generate talk, and B, a lot of these leaks are on purpose.
Yeah.
Right? It's to generate hype. That's so anyone who's interested in it is going to talk about it. You and I are talking about it.
Yeah.
And then they can gauge where to go from there.
Yes, gauge general interest. I bet you, like, I know some of the production stuff, and I'm like, I bet you, even up to now, that stuff wasn't locked, and now people are talking so much about it. They're like, okay, let's add them in.
Yeah, and obviously they're filming, right?
Yeah.
They're obviously filming now.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of how long will post-production take once they finish filming before we get season 3.
Yeah. I mean, they've been doing pretty good in regards to their production time. I think they finished last year, so they're doing on a yearly cycle for Daredevil.
Mhm.
I think that was one of the main goals that they said that they wanted to do. Because the Netflix was good, but I think it took quite a long time in between some of the seasons later down the line. I think it was the third season took a while before it kind of got going. I think the first 2 seasons were pretty timely, but then the third season was stalled or whatnot. And then, so
yeah, that's just part of production too, right? Like
yeah.
sometimes you might only have a series order for 2, and
Yeah.
then it becomes a hit, and then they rush order another one, and then people's schedules don't align because someone's doing something else, right?
Yeah, somebody else is doing a movie across the world. Yeah.
Yeah, so these things happen.
Yeah.
I got some news for you because I know you are a child of the 80s. You love not 80s, the 90s. You love 90s comics. We are heading back, or we could be possibly heading back to the era of the superstar artist.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
in this article, where is it? I think this is from the Hollywood Reporter.
Mm-hmm.
Says here with an assist from Absolute Batman and DC, the comic artist superstar rises again. So anyone who was a fan of Wizard magazine, when they had their top 10 artists and top 10 writers, that was always like a fun kind of little thing to watch and see who was
listed that month,
skyrocketing it up the charts. So courtesy of Hollywood Reporter and writer Boris Kitt. Nick Dragotta, who we've had the pleasure of interviewing, Daniel Warren Johnson, and others are bringing about a popularity and mania not seen since the heyday of Image Comics in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So, says here at the end of January, comic artist Nick Dragotta and Daniel Warren Johnson sat at 2 separate tables in a small conference room at a Marriott hotel in Monterey Park, California, from morning to deep into the night. They signed comic book after comic book while workers carefully took the issues and placed them into holders to be graded and slabbed for preservation. Fueled on coffee and with breaks for lunch and dinner, the two men signed more than 15,000, maybe even upwards of 20,000 comics in a span of 4 days under the watchful eyes of reps and for assigning and for assigning and grading company charged with handling the comics. I want to know, did they have some sort of like masseuse or hand care specialist?
Yeah.
Because man, that's a
lot.
That's a lot.
Now, you can finish the article, but I have a whole thing with that.
Well, let me just get through it first.
Yeah. Get through it. Yeah.
So, despite being bleary-eyed, it was relatively quiet affair for the duo, who have been friends since the 2010s. The days were peppered with light conversation under the whirring miniature fans that dried the ink on the comic covers. So let's just go through. So Dragotta, who is the regular monthly artist for DC's Absolute Batman title, and Johnson, the indie creator who last year wrote and drew the Absolute Batman annual, have emerged as two of the biggest artists that the comics world has seen in a long time. They're at the center of a seismic shift in the industry. Call it the return of the superstar artist. For most of the 21st century, comics, despite being a visual aid, has been a writer-dominated medium, even though some artists gained a degree of popularity. I'm not sure I necessarily agree with that, because I'm gonna call BS on that, because if you are truly a comics fan, you know it's Byrne. Like the names of the writers, maybe on one hand, right? There are several artists that people would drive this industry, whether it's Sal Buscema, John Buscema, Byrne, who's also a writer, John Romita. It's countless, right? Countless. Olivia Copiel, Rob Liefeld, Todd McFarlane. Not all of these guys wrote. A lot of these guys were straight artists, right? So I'm just going to flip down here. So certainly in the 90s, artists and image artists ruled the land, says Lee, who lived through the artist reign of the 1990s and has been the DC chief since 2010. First as co-publisher and then as sole publisher. He has seen the vagrancies of the comic industry ebb and flow, including the rise of the writer class. And I would say the rise of the writer class was in the mid 80s, because you had Alan Moore, you had Frank Miller's stuff, right? You then had the artists that were also writing at the same time, like Byrne. Who wrote Sandman? Neil Gaiman. Like that's like, and I think it was also easier to market the writers, because the writers, it's just like literary in terms of like, oh, they had a higher peg on how things were, but we all know that whoever was drawing it drove sales.
Yeah.
Right. No one ever complained. I'm going to tell you this just as a fan. No one ever complained about a fill-in writer on an issue. Everyone will complain about a fill-in artist.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
The artist has always driven this.
Yeah.
Kirby drove this. Ditko drove this. Neil Adams drove it.
Yeah. Market share wise. Yeah. Oh, right. Always the artist.
And I can tell you right now that my collection is filled of artists, not writers. The shelf behind me, well, not the art books, but the shelf behind me, those are the writers that I like.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a couple exceptions.
My comic book boxes, those are the artists.
Yeah. Right? I would skew it 90-10. Right. If you're thinking just ratio wise, because there are a couple exceptions to that, and I get that. But
Jeff Johns.
Yeah.
Great writer.
Kirkman right now is on a hot street.
Absolutely. Right.
There's got like Neil, all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
And then you have guys that swing both ways, like Frank Miller, sometimes when he's writing versus sometimes when he's drawing. Now these days, generally, now drawing so much for Frank, not so much. But when he was writing,
yeah, absolutely. So Lee says the return of the superstar artist is good for business as it is good for the art form. Absolutely.
Oh, definitely.
Jorge Jimenez and Hayden Sherman. Like, I love Jorge Jimenez's work, and he's part of, and these are part of the new wave.
The new DC wave, yeah.
Right?
I would credit as well to some of their DC's newest thing in the last 3 years, or why they're kind of dominating and like kicking Marvel in the shin is some of these artists that they got on exclusivities.
Hey man, let's be honest. when Marvel was on top,
Yeah, they're on top
because they had the best artists.
They had the big guys. They had the big guns,
right?
Sure.
Like DC, like you would. It was never like sole exclusivity between one company or the other, because DC would have had, Dan Jurgens was great. They would have had Perez doing
stuff. Yeah,
he was doing Wonder Woman.
They
Obviously,
had,
Jim Lee came over to do stuff.
Ivan Reyes.
Ivan Reyes is absolutely fire on his Aquaman stuff.
Was it Phil Jimenez
was doing stuff? Who? Oh yeah, Phil Jimenez, who basically was able to emulate a lot of Perez's style and flair. Yeah. Absolutely. So like DC has, and I would say that since Lee went over, DC has been they're where the stable of artists go, unless you're an indie.
Yeah.
Right? Like indie's got a lot of great artists and they're doing their creator-owned stuff. But it used to be Marvel that had all the great artists.
Oh, yeah. By far. Well, DC was competitive.
Competed the majority of them.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Because like the big books, X-Men, Spider-Man, right, for a time.
Even like Avengers for a time.
Avengers, they would have had the top artists. Yeah. And then with DC, they had Garcia Lopez doing their stuff, their products, artwork. Right. And doing their style guide. So they've had their fair share of amazing artists too. Norm Brayfogle, both companies have had amazing artists, but when you think of like the collective, I think Marvel had it and now DC's got it. It's kind of like like if you're a sports fan, how the West in the NBA might be super strong, and then 4 years later the East is super strong. Just because
it's ebbs and flows.
Ebbs and flows. The talent moves back and forth. For sure. But what do you think about it? Because you said you're going to have a hot take on it.
So my hot take is more on the number that was quoted in that article in regards to like 20,000. I feel like the speculator market, the CGC speculator market, that shit's dead. To think that those guys signed 20,000 books this weekend, and you're thinking, what is the percentage of 9 point somethings and whatever else is, right? Like some of that stuff is just kind of, you really have to dig hard to find some of this stuff. Like and it's like, it's a catch-22 in the sense that I like where the market is at right now, but also it feels like there's a lot of oversaturation in regards to just the general amount of books coming onto the market with like 20 reprints and 15 covers. Like, come on. Like Batman Absolute, as great as it is, it's in like its 20th reprint right now.
So you mean issue 1?
Yeah, issue 1, right? So even Absolute Wonder Woman, I think, is on like its 8th or 9th reprint. So like you look at that and then you're telling me these guys are CGCing books like crazy. Like, what are the resale values? What is the speculative market kind of thinking about that, and thinking that they're going to be selling these books until whenever? Like, nah, that's too much. You're going to have like 200 years pass before that stuff is going to get any type of value. But even then, there's going to be dumpsters of that stuff. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but I've sent it to you a couple of times. That one guy that
had the back of the truck.
Yeah, he always posts like these AI generated ones of like thousands of books. Like he did one with Absolute Batman, and it's just like a crate full, like of back of a truck full of reprints.
To be fair, the reason why they're going to the 20th printing is they don't print like they did in the 90s. Back in the 90s, it would have been 1 or 2 prints because you were printing, I don't know, 250,000 or 350,000 copies for the minimum. Like those were low end numbers.
Yeah,
and things were really humming, right? Selling excess of 500,000 copies a month.
Yeah, I guess now, I guess it's all relative, right?
Right. So if your print run is low, right, 50K, 100K at the most, and then it's a book that hits, then you can run out of stuff in a hurry.
And I guess also you kind of feed into that with the idea that you never want to do too much, because then you have the prestige of saying this thing's gone back to the reprint 10 times, right?
It's like the leaks, Vaughn. It's what was it, Dennis Rodman? I don't care what they print about me, just get my name right.
Just getting the name right. Yeah, totally.
So like to hear that something's gone back to its 5th printing is great.
Yeah.
Or it's
Any press is good press. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess indie comics creators only print 20 copies, and then YouTube can say,
Good say.
once you sold 20 copies, hey, we're going to our second printing. It's not economically viable, mind you.
Yeah.
But you know, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Is that our new hook for next year?
You know what? Maybe we'll ask some indie creators whether, and I, you know, and I don't mean like the mad caves. I mean like people who are like doing stuff straight on like Kickstarter or whatever.
Kickstarter. We'll get Pesto on here. We'll get some of the other guys.
Yeah, we'll see if Pesto or Scott.
Scott,
and see what they think about all that kind of stuff. It would be interesting. It would be really interesting to see where the just on that.
Yeah, with a quick shout out as well. So congrats to Pesto. I think they just hit the minimum order for their first. I think they almost got close to 5,000 orders for distributing on their new book.
Yeah, absolutely. So, he's doing great stuff. He's doing amazing stuff. So
congrats on him, man.
Shout out to Adriano. Pesto Comics, if you are not in the loop on what Pesto is doing, you got to get over there, check out their stuff. It's great stuff for sure. Speaking of indie books, moving into another genre, we've got Powers.
Is that indie?
Yeah,
indie adjacent.
It's Dark Horse. It's Dark Horse.
I would say small press. I won't even give Dark Horse that. They're not small press, but yeah, Dark Horse.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. So small press, not the big two, but we've got Powers. Let me just for the those of us who are a little bit older. Powers is going animated, and it's going to be courtesy of Netflix. So this is courtesy of Sci-Fi. Powers, the Eisner Award-winning comic book series from writer Brian Michael Bendis, and that's another superstar writer, by the way.
Oh, superstar writer,
right? And illustrator Michael Oeming is getting a new TV adaptation, this time as an adult animated series at Netflix. It's a pretty safe bet, considering the fact that mature comic book shows, from The Boys to Invincible, are all the rage these days. So Dark Horse and Netflix adapting Brian Michael Bendis comic Powers. The project hails from Dark Horse Entertainment, with Keith Goldberg, Resident Evil, and Chris Tung, or is that Tung? The Umbrella Academy on board as executive producers. And this was confirmed by The Hollywood Reporter. Dark Horse acquired the title previously published by Image, so it is Image.
Yeah, it isn't. Yeah, they did.
Icon subsidiary, because I remember it being an Image.
Yeah, I think they did the volume 1 as an Image book, and then it eventually moved over when he wanted to bring it back over to Dark Horse.
I don't even remember Marvel's Icon subsidiary.
Oh, you don't remember? It was all right. It wasn't,
I'd have to.
They were trying to do some stuff, but truth be told, it was only the big writers that got a chance to do anything underneath that imprint. It was just kind of, let me try stuff. I'm really surprised that they let it go, which would be interesting to see which ones get adapted, because if like what the rights are in regards to the first series that was done underneath Image, to see if they get a cut of it.
Maybe they will. So yes, Fed again, this is basically the animated version
of the live action.
So live action is one adaptation. This will be another one.
I think the live action only had like what, half a season they did?
Maybe.
Yeah.
The cool thing is Bendis is going to write the pilot for the animated show, and Oeming is going to advise on the visual development. So hopefully it keeps a lot of that style, because
like grit.
Yeah. Oeming's style is kind of like Bruce Timm with like a lot of heavy
Mike Mignola. Yeah, Mike Mignola in there somewhere.
Mike Mignola. That's perfect. Right?
Yeah.
So this is on, I'm assuming this is Facebook. Yeah. So Dark Horse Comics news: Brian Bendis and Michael Avon Oeming award-winning comic series Powers is in development as a new animated series. So it is official. I just wonder when it's slated to hit.
If they're announcing it now, they're probably in just pre-production. So we won't see that till
2028.
Yeah, late 2027, 2028. We'll get some teasers in 2027, but we won't see the season come out till 2028.
Yeah,
at this rate.
And this is for Fed again. That Powers was already adapted for live action across a 2-season run on PlayStation Network between 2015 and 2016.
That's what it was, PlayStation. Yeah.
So Shardo Copley, who we all loved from District 9, and Susan Hayward, Orange is the New Black, played Walker and Pilgrim respectively. So it'll
Mm.
be interesting to see what this comes out as in terms of a show. I'm all for going into different mediums.
Yeah.
Just expands the audience, and it just shows you that some of the stuff that maybe doesn't resonate on like a huge level. Obviously, if it got to this point, right?
Yeah.
It has a fan base and your award-winning book. But if you ask the general public about this, most people are like
No.
Powers. They wouldn't know.
No,
But
nobody
the very fact that you have those IPs that resonate and can go cross mediums, that just says that there's a lot of stuff going on in the comic book industry. That there's just really good projects being created, and it's up to not only like fan bases but also production companies and networks and streaming sites to find them and spread them off to the masses.
Yeah, I truly feel like some of these guys try to pigeonhole everything into live action when I think animated would have been better for some of this stuff. Like even the Jupiter Ascending one.
Yes.
If they had gone more like adult animated for the Jupiter Ascending series that they tried to do on Netflix, I think it would have done better as a whole. But I get what they were trying to do there. I just don't think they did. Definitely not so much think. I know they didn't hit the mark, so it would have been interesting to see that more as like a live action, not live action, sorry, an animated, kind of more like HBO kind of themed animated series kind of thing, right? With a little more adult, like the one that you mentioned before, that came on, that one shot that came over HBO, that sci-fi one. I forgot the name. Yeah, like something like that would have been better, I think, for Jupiter Ascending, more so as a whole, as an animated. But yeah, some of you hit out the park, some of you don't.
Absolutely. So I've got two things to share with you before we go, because I know you have a hard out at 2. This is from Bad Idea. So this is Megalith. It's a new book coming out, and this is issue 1. The first cover is by Luis LaRosa, and then they actually have something called a Masters, an Old Masters.
Okay.
Which these same book, but this is issue 1 and issue 2, but they're taking classic, and I'm guessing public domain art and putting them on as the covers, that's an interesting marketing idea.
Interesting take. And then the inside's just going to be a
regular comic.
Regular comic?
Yeah.
So this is the guy that did Exo Manowar, right? That did the cover A?
That we loved. Yeah, and I have some interior stuff that I'm going to show as well too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I could tell by the stuff. He was good. He was really good.
Yeah. So it says out now, Beyond Megalith 0, jump aboard Bad Idea's biggest slate yet with this all new 32-page special. It says, plus uncover the secrets behind New York Times selling writer Matt Kint and visionary artist Luis LaRosa's upcoming bone-crushing Cosmic Odyssey Olympus Saga Megalith #1. So those are the covers for it. So we have the Van Gogh cover as well as the Napoleon Bonaparte cover, and then we have LaRosa's cover over on the left. So through precision, painstaking craftsmanship, and raw power, master illustrator Luis LaRosa has delivered a truly breathtaking work of art. And what better way to honor the life-changing art of Olympus Saga Megalith than covers celebrating the greatest works of art in history? Now, this is a good way, speaking of superstar artists, this is a good way of kind of acknowledging that the comic book world has been doing some good stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So, and if you take a look at these are interior pages from it.
Wow.
It's absolutely stunning.
Yeah, this rocks. I remember some of his Exo Manowar stuff. I don't feel like he was getting enough credit. I think it's just also at the time Valiant was on a downward spiral.
Right.
So I think that overshadowed some of the art in that book and some of the story that was happening there. But he was class A, man.
Yeah. So it's written by Matt Kint, art by Luis LaRosa, colors by Laura Martin, cover by Jacques-Louis David, and that is the Napoleon cover. It's selling for $5.99 and it comes out May 13th. So I guess you can order it, get it on your pull list at your local comic shop. So basically, it's 20 minutes ago, a massive monolith crashed into the heart of Baltimore, obliterating 16 square blocks. No one knows where it came from or why. Somehow the monstrous deep space object evaded the global surveillance net. 3 elite breach teams were dispatched to penetrate its outer shell and disable it. 10 minutes ago, it sprouted tendrils that began ripping apart nearby streets, cars, and even people using the raw material to print itself larger. Police, SWAT, the feds, even NORAD were powerless to stop it. Just 2 minutes ago, the megalithic anomaly achieved its final form, a gigantic 100-story tall humanoid mecha robot, then began marching towards Washington, D.C. Now, our only hope is Officer Jack Casey, a beat cop, scarred by the past, who, along with what remains of the breach teams, must scale the robot from the inside. If they can reach the head, they can destroy it, but time is running out. The government has scrambled a nuclear response, and the world has just learned that a second, bigger monolith is about to impact Earth. So interesting premise. I'm gonna
pick some kaiju stuff.
Yeah. It's like kaiju and the opposite of Die Hard, where you're trying to get in the building to the top as opposed to getting out of the building. Yippee-yo-ki-yay, right?
Yeah. Maybe.
And so with this art and that kind of premise, I'm gonna give this one a look.
Yeah, I would like to see if I could get at that sort of thing. I like the art alone, and some of the premises is giving me some interesting takes. And looking at the art, I would like to see. He would have been interesting to see him draw. Did they ever do a what's the one that had the Jaegers as well too? The giant Jaegers. Guillermo del Toro did it.
It's on the tip of my tongue, but I know the one you're talking about.
Did they ever do a comic on Pacific Rim?
Not sure. And before you go, we got Batman.
The Robins, I saw that.
With the Robins. So this is the cover for Absolute Batman 20 with the Robins, and not what I was expecting. Speaking of giant mech, so the theme is like great art. Then we have kaijus, and then we got super mech,
giant mechs. Yeah,
right. Circling back to Nick Dragotta.
Yeah.
And before we go, off topic, Monarch Legacy of Monsters. S2 has a great episode last week. More Titan scenes for those who complain it's lacking them. I'm not one of them, though. Streaming on Apple Plus TV. Absolutely. Yes, I haven't caught any of season 2 yet. I'm too busy doing the inks on my book and then doing stuff on Comix Asylum for everyone that's watching. But Vaughn, this has been great. I guess we're going to meet up again on Thursday because we've got Bruce Zick coming to join us.
Yeah. And so guys, if you want to check it in. Yeah.
So go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm saying, yeah. So guys, when you want to check in on Thursday, I think it's going to be a pretty epic show.
Yeah. Thursday at 7, Decepticon and J-Man. They're going to be joining us as well, too. And superstar artist, writer, Bruce Zick. He's going to join us to talk about his creative process. So take care from me. Take care from Vaughn. Thanks again for tuning in. And we'll see you in, I guess, 24 hours. Catch you later. Bye.
All right, guys. Bye.